Good morning, class. This is your English teacher, Sir Sanjay. I welcome you all to yet another session of online classes wherein we upload videos on YouTube channel on regular basis as a cover up because as you are all aware we are not able to conduct regular classes due to pandemic, the outbreak of one of the worst pandemics ever. So if you remember in the previous class I've already explained you the lesson called Tarot's Reward, and we also ran an analysis to question and answers, right? So what we are going to do in this lesson is we are going to continue to teach you another lesson or poem to be precise, and at the end what I shall be doing is I will be reading you the summary of the poem and will be analyzing the question answers as well. Okay, so without wasting any further time, let's begin. Here we are. Yeah, the quarrel. You know quarrel. Do you know the meaning of the word quarrel? The word quarrel basically means a fight, right? Where fight can be of two types. One is verbal, wherein we speak and say things we are not supposed to say to each other. The other one is physical fight. Okay, just for your knowledge I'm sharing, not that you are supposed to involve or engage in any of these activities. It's written by the poem Eleanor Farjan. Written by whom? Eleanor Farjan. Okay, so let's begin. It is common for brothers and sisters to quarrel, although sometimes they may not be able to say why they quarrel. But how long do such quarrels last? They end very briefly, right? So how do they end? If you have siblings at home, sometime you may have seen, there is this quarrel out of inconsequential or useless reasons and all. Clear? These things do happen when you live together in a family, and they don't last for a long time. They be or even half hour. Okay, so let's read the poem stanza wise and let's try to understand. I quarrel with my brother. I don't know what about. One thing led to another, and somehow we fell out. The start of it was slight. The end of it was strong. He said he was right. I knew he was wrong. Okay, so let us try to understand the first stanza. I quarrel with my brother. The poet happened to quarrel with his brother. I don't know what about. So he says he does not know the reason behind the quarrel. Okay, but they started some sort of fight or quarrel, as you would like to call it. One thing led to another. So it started with a foolish or small thing. Okay, then the poet says something, his brother says something. Okay, so one thing led to another, and somehow we fell out. So somehow they started this quarrel. Okay, fall out means fight. The start of it was slight, means started with the smallest of thing. Okay, like he called him something, then she responded. She called him something, he responded. So it started slightly. The end of it was strong, but in the end it turned out to be something very strong. Okay, means they were having stronger fight than they thought they would be having. All right, the end of it was slight, isn't it? He said he was right. Sorry, the end of it was strong. So it started very slightly and ended very, what do you call it? Strongly. He said he was right. I knew he was wrong. So the brother of the poet kept insisting that he was right. But the poet kept insisting that, the brother was wrong. Okay, so this is the start of every sort of fight. One person says he is right, the other one says no, you are wrong, this and that. Okay, so similar thing happened here with the poet and the brother. Let's read the second stanza now. We hated one another. So ever since that fight, they started hating one another. Okay, we hated one another. The afternoon turned black, means the sun had set already. Then suddenly my brother thumped me on the back. So what happened? The brother came and gave a thump on the poet's back and said, "Oh, come along. We can't go on all night." She said, come along, stop this. We cannot behave the way we are behaving, and we cannot extend or stretch it further. I was in the wrong, and he admitted that he made mistake. Okay, so he was in the right. So in the end, when he said he was in the wrong, he was actually right. Okay, and this is how their quarrel ended. Okay, so brother and sister in any family, what happens is they sometimes quarrel over petty issues, and it ends very rapidly. There is no such greater enmity and issues of that nature. Okay, so this poem is written by the poet Eleanor Fargen. So I suggest you to read this poem again. Okay, para wise, as a spelling drill, as a pronunciation drill. You can do the same. Okay, and as far as question answers analysis is concerned, we'll be doing that now and all these things. Okay, so let's see now. I've prepared you some notes. Here we are. The Quarrel. What is the name of the poem? The Quarrel. Right? Yeah. So brief stanza wise explanation is also being prepared. I think I've provided you the exact note of this one already. So just for your understanding, we'll do it again. Okay. See, there are some important words whose meaning I think you should know here. These are the words. These are the words. See. Slight means small and modest. Okay. And quarrel means to fight. So see, the poet had a fight with his brother. Both of them were fighting and were not even aware of the cause of the fight. The fight was happening because of a series of things. One thing was giving way to another. While fighting, both fell. While fighting, both fell. Both fell what? That they were right in their own way, isn't it? So, in the beginning, the fight was modest and was not very serious. But, we are here. But, what happened? But, gradually it grew intense and became a serious issue. His brother said that he was right, whereas the narrator was the poet actually. It should not be narrator, I'm sorry. The poet was thinking himself to be right, isn't it? Like, it happens in most quarrels. One person thinks he is right, the other one thinks he is right. If I think I'm right, I'll be thinking definitely that the other person is wrong, isn't it? So in stanza 2, we came across some new words, right? Which are the words? Let's find out. The words are thumped. Thump means to hit. Turn back to become unpleasant. Okay, so what happened? In the noon, the fight became serious and both started hating each other. They didn't like one another. All of a sudden, poet's brother hit him on the back. Hit means pat. It's not hit. It pat him on the back and asked him to go along, as it was not the right thing to pull the matter throughout the night. He also declared humbly that he was wrong, which proved his generosity. So this moved the poet's heart and he realized that he was wrong. Okay. So now the substance. Let's see the substance. The poem, this has already been provided. The poem The Quarrel is about a quarrel between whom? Between brothers and sisters, which is a common phenomenon. Okay. Although sometimes they are you know unable to justify why they quarrel, and they put up the patch up soon after. One day the sister quarreled with her brother. Okay, in the poem, the reason was very petty, but they shouted it at each other. The quarrel was mild at first, but it became strong in the end. Both claimed that they were right. They began to hate each other. They did not talk to each other till the evening. Then suddenly, the brother realized his mistake. He decided to make it up with the narrator or the poet. He walked up to her and, patted on her back. He suggested that they should patch up. He admitted that he was at fault. Okay. So the poet also forgot and forgave him. So this is the summary or substance of the poem. Very simple. Okay, it's some sort of narration. That is why the poem is very simple. Okay. So I suggest you to reread this substance from the notes provided. If you have problem in finding the note, do let me know, and you can go through easily. Okay. Now let's take a quick look at the exercises that we have prepared from the poem called The Quarrel. What is the name of the poem? The Quarrel, right? So working with the poem, page 40, question number 1. With your partner, try to guess the meaning of the underlined phrases. And somehow we fell out. The afternoon turned black. So fell out means quarrel or argue. The afternoon turned black means it was spoiled or kind of wasted due to bad or tensed mood. Both of them were having bad day, right? So they were tense. Okay. So question number 2, just give me a moment. See, question number 2, it's here. Read these lines from the poem. One thing led to another. Okay. So read these lines from the poem. One thing led to another. Sorry for that. One thing led to another. The start of it was light. The end of it was strong. The afternoon turned black. Thumped on my back. So you asked to discuss these lines and their meaning. Okay. So one thing led to another. What does it mean? During the argument, one thing led to another. Okay. They started it off with a small thing, but then in the end it became larger as time went by. Isn't it? Am I right or wrong? Absolutely right, isn't it? Just give me a moment. Then 2. The start of it was light. So the start, sorry for that. So the start and cause of the quarrel was petty and small. It was nothing in the beginning. Okay. 3rd, the end of it was strong. The quarrel ended on a sour note. Okay, which had long lasting effect. Means both started hating each other in the end. Alright. 4. The afternoon turned black. The quarrel spoiled the mood of the what? The quarrel spoiled the mood of the quarreling people, and the afternoon became intolerably sad. Means they could not tolerate each other. Okay. Then last one, patted, thumped me on the back. Thump me on the back means patted on the back in an amicable manner. Okay, as if to suggest that things are getting better. All right. So now home assignment. Try these questions given below as homework. Write on your own. Take help only if or when required, or when you face difficulty while constructing answers grammatically. Okay. So describe, here we are, describe a recent quarrel that you have had with your brother, sister, or friend. How did it start? What did you quarrel about? How did it end? So it's very simple. I suggest you to write, write a paragraph or two on this topic and submit it to me on the next class. Okay, you can show it on Google Meet also. That way it will be easier. Okay. So with this we basically come to conclusion of today's poem. It was very simple poem, so I recommend you to read this again. Read this, try and understand, and the stanza wise explanation that I've made is also going to be interesting. Go through them again. Okay. And as far as learning new words are concerned, I've provided few, right? Which are the ones that I've provided? Let's take a look. I've provided you with this ones, isn't it? See, there's one, and then there are, let's say, this ones also. Try and learn them. Okay, these things will stay with you for longer, and yeah, that's how you're going to do. Hmm? Learn the poem once again. Not learn the substance of the poem, discuss the question, and enhance your writing by learning more and more vocabulary word. That way only you are going to grow. Okay, so in the next class I'll take up a new lesson and explain you more about it. So today we concluded the explanation of the poem called the Quarrel. I explained you stanza wise, and then we discussed about we discussed the substance of the poem also. What I want you to do is go through it properly. If you have any problem, let's discuss the same in the Google Meet session that we are going to hold shortly. Okay. Moreover, keep learning. There will be an examination coming up very shortly. Be prepared for it. Okay. It was a pleasure to be with you all. Thank you everyone for being part of the Google Meet, for being part of this online session. Thank you.